Oh, lighting sucks. Hello. This is day 5 of COVID. It's Friday the 5th of May and my last day of work. I have exhausted my sick leave. I'm feeling much better. I'm obviously still a bit sick though, but I just wanted to say COVID has been great for crafting. So yesterday I finished my Musselberg. I put some toes in this pair of socks for my grandma. It's a bit messy. Look at the decreases of that toe versus my wrapped heel on my circular sock machine. I think it's funny, they contrast. Anyway, finished my Musselberg, finished that. I need to put together my animal. But yeah, I need to also work on my half and half wrap because I've not loved that at all this week. But 2 finished objects, nearly 3 finished objects. It's pretty good. Good morning. It is, I don't have my watch on. I'm gonna go the 21st of May. We have about 9 a.m. No, 8:30. And I just wanted to show you something before I finish. So I've just resolved my last German short row and I'm about to bind off on my half and half wrap. This thing has been a mammoth effort. I've been tossing up between an Icelandic bind off or just a standard bind off. I slipped all my side stitches, so we can see here that I have an I-cord edge on this side and also on this side. But my cast on edge, I just don't want any of my stitches to slip off. My cast on edge was just a standard cast on because I forgot that I'd planned to do an I-cord. And it's not particularly stretchy. So yeah, that's my conundrum right now, but I'm ready. 250 stitches to bind off. Woohoo. It's gonna be an effort. Anyway, I'm just in bed. I got both my pussycats here. Isabeau down here and Finnegan in the bed. Yeah, and I'm gonna make myself breakfast, but I want to cast off so that I can soak it while I make breakfast, and then I'll spin it and hang it up. This is my spare room. I'm just going to zoom out a bit. It's pretty big. It's my wonky end, which is like too big. If I could chop that, I would. I feel like I did a yarn over or something over here maybe. Anyhow, it is what it is. It's done. Zoom out more. This is the Madeleine's Car Chronicles. I've just left a family function. It was my mum and my cousin's birthday. Half and half wrap gets an outing. I didn't take any photos with this, actually, even though the lighting was brilliant. So I might have to try for when I get home. But my grandma saw it and she complimented it and she really likes it. So I'm going to help her cast hers on. eventually. Saw my brother and my parents, and yeah, okay. Hello and welcome to the Mad About You YouTube channel. I'm your host, my name is Madeleine. I use she and her pronouns, and I come to you today on the land of the Cubby people, and I'd like to pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, acknowledging their contribution to land, sea, culture and conservation in my area. Today is Sunday the 28th of May 2023. This is the May in Review wrap-up episode. It is also known as the Madeleine had COVID and finished a lot of objects episode. So grab a beverage. I have some water and a cup of coffee here, and yeah, come join me for however long this takes. You can find me in other places on the internet as Madbell on Ravelry and Mad About You on Instagram. You can also, I don't know what else I was going to say. I do have a website that hasn't been updated in over a year, so probably wouldn't bother heading over there. I also have an Etsy shop if you're in Australia, where I crank your sock yarn into sock tubes. So you could pop on over to that. That is called Mad About You Studio over on Etsy. A link to all of those will be down below in the description box, and also a link to anything that I speak to or about today. So how my episodes run, we do a little bit of an introduction, which you just listen to. I will talk about finished objects, some works in progress, an update on the half and half wrap knit along. I will also talk about any acquisitions or things that have come into my life, and then I do a knit and natter blather kind of section where I talk about some actual life stuff, and yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, I'm gonna have a drink of something, and then we are going to start with finished objects. Hooray! Okay, so, we have a pussycat visitor, maybe. She's been trying to climb my leg today. Isabeau, hello. Come on, let's say hello to the friends. Good girl. Hello. Got a sourpuss look on your face today. Good girl. Okay, so I have 4 finished objects today, I think. I need to turn my phone off. I keep getting messages from my knitting friend, Cara. Hello, Cara. Okay, so I have 4 finished objects today. 1 has been gifted. 2, oh, maybe I have 5. 2 have been gifted. The rest are here with me. And 1 is a big elephant in the room that I'm currently wearing. I finished my half and half, my Pearl Soho half and half triangles wrap, which I knit as part of my the knit along that I was hosting this year, which I called the 2023 half and half wrap knit along, I think. And so the premise of the knit along was that you have the whole year to knit the big or bigger size, 2 skeins of Pearl Soho, 2 colors of Pearl Soho linen quilt, or any yarns of your choice. They have a striped version, lots of different options available. And I did a 2 color option, which you can see here. I did rhubarb pink and peony pink, and it is enormous and it is done. So I have my iPad here with my Ravelry notes, so I like to talk you through it. So this is the rhubarb pink. This is what I have left over, and I have used 2.4 skeins, so 240 grams of the pink, of this pink, and I had used 2.47 of the lighter pink here, which is the peony pink. So I've got about 80 grams of yarn left. No, 120, because the 60, about 100 grams left, or slightly over 100 grams left of this. So don't know what that'll become. I am feeling that it could be, you know, good in another shawl maybe that needs something to go with. I have some acquisitions that may go with this. So yeah, just holding on to it. It would be really lovely marbled together, but that's a future me problem to figure that out. So I cast this on the 25th of December. I cast on 250 stitches, so I went almost halfway, but well, the bigger size is a 260 stitch cast on. And then I did a slip stitch I-cord edging. I definitely did stuff up the bind off. On the 4th of April, I was halfway. On the 5th of May, I had 100 wrap stitches to go. And then on the 21st of May, I finished. So the last, like basically all of May, except for 2 things which I knitted, which were small gifts, was concentrated knitting on this because I just wanted it done. I started cast on a Felix cardigan. I had yarn coming for something that I was really wanted to focus on there. So I basically just knuckled down and knit on this all of the school holidays that I had in March, April, and then 5th of May. Yeah, so on the April school holidays, I got halfway, changed colours, and then when we were back at school, just like basically every evening, I tried to knit a couple of rows, and I think I had 30 to go in the last week, and I just was like 6 a day. You have to do 6 a day, and I made it happen. So that's exciting. My cast off pre-blocking was like 42 inches by 53 for the rhubarb, and then peony was 46 by 48, and then wet blocked down the diagonal middle spine 63 inches, so 5'1". This thing is enormous. And then it ended up being 54 inches by 58 inches, except it was 56 on the rhubarb edge. It's not quite square. My gauge was significantly looser on the second skein. Apparently lightweight yarn blocks out bigger. Someone messaged me because I had an existential crisis over on Instagram when this was happening last Sunday. And I used an Icelandic bind off, which I have mad regrets about doing. So I actually still have this tail end like hanging out, because I actually have thought that I might unpick the bind off and do just a normal knitted bind off. But I haven't made that happen yet. Sorry, we have a Mr. Finn on the window looking at something outside, and he's both a little bit inquisitive. Yeah, so this thing's enormous. I am actually going to a family birthday party. Hopefully we're going to a park. So I'm going to take some footage today and I'll insert that. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I never say never about anything, but I highly likely will not be knitting one of these again. I completely understand why people do. It was like quite enjoyable. But honestly, like, I try and figure out like not cost per wear, but like how much things cost, and just time wise, like this thing took me 5 months. I cast on at the end of December and it took me until almost the end of May. So all of January, February, March, April, and most of May. And I just think I probably could have knit 2 sweaters in that time, and I don't have enough sweaters in my life, so that's why. But I'm super happy with it. It's finished within 6 months. If I was eligible for a prize, I could put my name in the draw. Obviously I'm not, because I'm running the Cal. But yeah. Okay, what have we got next? The next product I have to show you is my finished Musselburgh hat. This one here is knit in the colorway Sailor's Delight by Saltwater Yarns, available at Elsie Gray in Western Australia. I actually ran out of yarn at the end, so I ended up finishing off with this Circus Tonic Handmade. I think it's Silver Stellina. I think this color went in my Penguono, which is why it was a half skein that I had available, or was already wound up actually, available. No, I was going to make a sizzle pop with this because it was held double. It was wound on it, up on itself, and then I ended up putting the romance in the wash. But anyway, so this is the Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague. It is finished. I have not taken finished object photos with this one either. It's been in my work bag because I put makeup on every day basically to go to work. And I'm just like, yeah, one day I'll just ask someone like before school to take photos of me, but it's been super dark. Well, not dark, but you know, a bit grungy, not nice light. So this is coming again to family lunch and hopefully someone will model it for me or I'll model it myself. So I think I cast on like the adult medium size. And oh, the other thing is like my hair has been really awful lately, like not awful but not nicely wavy, so I haven't actually wanted to take any photos because I wanted my hair out in the beanie and my hair's been up, but this is not bad. Okay, I'm an idiot. So I do have project notes on this one too. Let me go back to them because that will give you the most accurate information. I thought I had more of this color somewhere, but I pulled apart my sock knitting, my scrap yarns, everything, couldn't find it. So that's why I ended up finishing with that other color, which is totally fine because it tucks in the hat. No worries. So yeah, none left in my sock. I used magic loop to cast on, changed to a 16-inch circular after the decreases. I did have to join it a couple of times because I had split the skein in two because originally this was a pair of socks. And then I swapped back to magic loop after 10 or so decrease rounds. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I also decreased and then realized that I had made a mistake. So I had to pull the decreases out and then do that back again. I blame COVID because I was sick with COVID when I did that. And I used a 3.25 millimeter needle for that one. Yeah, so I'm happy with it. I'm glad it's done. This is like my random just take places with me knitting. And so it's done. I don't wear beanies very often because it ruins my hair. So this might get gifted to a family member or stay in my pile of beanies for if I do decide to visit somewhere cold. Okay, next finished object. Okay, there's two that have been gifted. And one that I'm about to gift in like an hour when I leave home. Or I have to leave home in 45 minutes. All right, so I finished a pair of socks on my sock knitting machine. These socks are for my grandma. I hope that they fit. I will probably insert some footage here. I have two pairs. They're Knit Picks Felici. I can't remember the colorway. But I will link it my project page below. Yeah, so I knit these on my Earlbacker Gear Hut Speedster sock knitting machine, and I did hand sew the toe. So I had cranked these ages ago, so you may have seen them, and then I did a hung hem, and then I did the heel, knit the foot, cast off, and then I hand knit this toe, and they pretty closely, I was going to say pretty closely match, but no, they don't. They're like the complete opposite of each other. Yeah. Oh well, I don't think my grandma will care. She's been asking me for a pair of socks for a really long time. So hopefully she's happy. I feel like they're a bit big. They were 60 on my 64 stitch cylinder. I tried to make my cousin a pair of socks last weekend and it failed, and I tried again this weekend and I just not making it work. So she will get her socks as an IOU. So that's my first pair of socks that I finished. I also finished another pair of socks. I'll insert a picture here. These ones I made for my mum, who has a size 5 foot. I contacted Alexandra from Fiberbound, and she has a size 6 foot. And I said, when you hand knit your socks, how many rows do you do? And she told me hers, so I deducted a few, but my tension on my machine must be different because they're a bit too small on my mum. My original plan was to just knit basically do what I did for these ones, take them to her, get her to put them on, be like, hey, you can have these in like an hour, and then hand knit the sock. But I had done so well and I was using cobweb lycra, and I was just like, no, you know what, I'll just do it. So I'm probably like 5 rounds too short here, or like in the foot somewhere, because when she put them on, the heel was a little bit kind of slipping down, but she just wears them around the house and to bed, so it's not really a big deal. And also I used the copper lycra so that they would like stay more, because the last pair of socks I knit her back in 2017, I think. So she's had them for like 4 and a bit years, and she deserves socks. Okay, so that's the 2 that are gone. The next one is my Ed's animal. This is Eleanor, the Labrador, and I knit her for my best friend Grace, and she had a little baby boy Charlie, and Charlie's 2 weeks old now, so that arrived with them. I finished that the same week I had COVID, so like I finished this one day, and I think I finished that teddy or the stuffy 2 days later. I have created 2 videos that accompany that particular project. So I've got a short one, which is like why you should make an Ed's Menagerie animal. I'll link to that one below, or like put it up here somewhere. And then the other one is how I put together the Ed's Menagerie animal. So I would really love it if you're interested in crochet or making an Ed's animal, if you would go and check that out kindly on my YouTube. A lot of people have been interested. They think it's too hard. It's totally not too hard. You can totally do it. And hopefully that will encourage someone to do it. I'm going to make myself one of the cats. Probably should make 2. One like Finn and one Isabeau. They would be really cute. She's still asleep on my lap. Bless. Hey, baby girl. Hello. Yes, so I talk more about that animal over on that video, but it was really lovely to make it for my friend. She did send me a photo of the animal and the beanie that I knit with Charlie, but I'm not going to put my friend's child on the internet, so but yeah, just trust me, it was super cute, and I love making those animals for my friends. All right, I think we're on to works in progress now. Wow, that was a really long finished object segment. Yay, finally. Okay, so in terms of works in progress, I have my Felix cardigan, which I showed you last time, and I don't have with me because I haven't knit on it, so you don't get to see that. But I recently, as in yesterday, cast on, which wasn't supposed to happen, for the So Sue Knits 2023 Mystery Knit Along. Now, I hate mystery knit alongs. I love brioche and I love Suzanne Summer, so I'm doing a mystery knit along. I haven't successfully completed an MCAL since 2017 when I knit the Hoki Starting Point wrap. This one here is also a wrap. The pattern has a name, but I was like, I can't remember, but let me find it. Yeah, Ravelry. Brioche mode is what it's called. There are a couple of color options. You can have a 2 color, 3 color, or 4 color. You need 4 skeins of yarn, but yeah, 2, 3, or 4 colors. I've gone with 3, and I'm finally repurposing the yarn that I bought for my eyeball shawl from Stephen and Penelope back in 2019 on the Heartbreak Yarn Tour of Europe. So, first color, actually, I never know how to pronounce this name. For Valborg, I think. It is dyed for Stephen and Penelope in Amsterdam. Oh, it's dyed for Stephen and Penelope. I actually think it's a German yarn. But I could be wrong. The end of the website back in 2019 was s.se. So this is the tag for the colorway Ash, which is this beautiful brown. The light's not great. Here we go. So I look at it and it's like black, but it's actually kind of like, it kind of lends navy blue. My other one is this one here, and that is What's the Fuzz About is the color. I do have another one, because this is my color where I'm using 2 colors of, and my second skein is over on my desk, so I can't grab it for you. But it's like a cream, but with pink speckles and a bit of like black speckles, dark purple, and there are a few yellow speckles. So I did have a yellow in the mix as my kind of color choice. And my last color is this fuchsia here. It is by Undercover Otter, also bought at Stephen and Penelope, and the colorway is called Cameron. It is a Singularity single base, and I think it goes really well, like both this color and this one here. So if you are currently doing the MCAL and you do not want any spoilers, please look away now for the next, I don't know, if I remember, I'll be kind and put a timestamp on the screen. Okay, so I am about a third of the way through clue 1. No, the first section 1 of clue 1. And I was ready to do some more. All right, I knew I was getting tired last night, so I put it away, but I did a stitch count and I was like, I don't have enough stitches. So I've actually made a mistake and I have to tink back or pull out 2 brioche rows, which I'm really upset about. Because I don't want to start from the beginning. I haven't put a lifeline in yet because I got really cocky, but basically I'll show you and then I'll show you what I've done wrong. So this is the right side and the wrong side, and I have missed 2 increases. So I'm increasing down here and I've missed 2 on this end, on the startings. Oh no, on the end side. So yeah, I'm really annoyed at myself. I don't want to pull it all out. Like, I really badly don't want to pull it all out. It was my mistake. Like, you literally knit a stitch and do the increase, but I think because it was on like the end of the right side row, I just completely forgot. And then once you forget it, it's gone. So the last one I did was down here, but I should have 1 in here and I should have 1 currently on the needles by my calculations. So I have 2 options here. I unknit, like a tink back, 4 brioche rows, or I pull the needles out and rip back. My smartest option is probably the tinking back because at least all my stitches are still on my needles. I'm not so proficient at brioche that I am completely comfortable with just ripping the needles out and ripping back. I know Leslie from Knit Graffiti does, and I think I could do it and then the stitches would probably stay fairly well where they're supposed to. I just don't want to waste the time. Anyway, this is really enjoyable so far. I guess I did see a meme somewhere that was like, the best thing about knitting is when you make a mistake and you rip back, you get to do it again. Not you have to, you get to do it again. Like, yeah, that's fair. I also wasn't sure if I made the best choice with having the black as my color B, but the next color lot is these 2 in garter rows, like the next bit of this section. So I think they'll play really nicely together. Anyway, it is what it is, but I think tinking back is in my future. But so, yeah, I was not planning. I currently have many a time said, no, don't believe in MCALs. I can't deal with the anxiety of not knowing what things are going to look like. And then I got convinced because it's Suzanne Summer. And it's brioche and I was craving some brioche. Okay, the other thing is I shared it and I shared the post about the MCAL and then I won a prize. So I actually get to redeem a pattern. But all of the patterns that I love the most on Suzanne's Ravelry store, I've already bought. So I get to have another look and find something else, I guess. So that'll be fun. The other thing, not yet a work in progress, but I have a pair of socks I need to finish, but I'm not feeling them. And since I have no on the go knitting going, those 2 are being knit on Magic Loop 2 at a time. I'm actually thinking about casting on just a simple sock with this scrumptious pearl. I bought at Rhinebeck. It's called Remix. It's a one of a kind 3-color fingering weight self-strapping. So that's just sitting in my little whip basket here, waiting for me to decide that I want to knit another sock, which could come at any time. Okay, let's go on to stash acquisitions. I think that's what we call it. Okay, I got some yarn in the post. I mentioned this when I bought it. It is for a love note, which I was planning on casting on, and then I joined up for a mystery knit along. So we're not quite there yet. I bought this yarn here from Chloe at Woolen Works. It is her Pie Day collection, or it's Pink Petal Pie. Hey girlfriend, what's up? Oh, just getting more comfy. Okay, so it's Pink Petal Pie. It's her fingering merino. I have 2 skeins of this. And then I also bought mohair silk, lace mohair silk, Pink Petal Pie, same colorway. These are going to be a love note. And I have 2 more skeins. So, oh, this one's coming undone. Maybe that means maybe this means I will take it out and show you. I don't know how this will go with a cat on my lap, but anyway. So I'm a little bit not worried, but like intrigued about how it will go in terms of like flashing, pulling or whatnot. But I've got the mohair to blend it with, like to hold it double with. So hopefully that means it will even itself out. But yeah, I just saw it and she was doing pre-orders and well, I had to have it. I think it's actually my first yarn purchase of the year. I think. So yeah, super happy with that one from Chloe. Oh no, when I put the Isabeau, what did I just do with that tag? Oh, here we go. Silly me. Okay, yeah, so beautiful. Happy days. In the mail the other day, so I'm friends with Kat, who is Oliphant Cat or Katrina Walser. She's a knitwear designer, tech editor, excellent knitter extraordinaire. Anyway, a while ago, I said to her, I saw her like call out for pattern testers for a designer call out from Pearl Soho. And I said, hey, I don't know, maybe we've been talking about a design that she was making, and said, oh, that kind of fits what they're looking for. So I said, why don't you apply? And she ended up applying and then did get in their partner designing program. And because I had encouraged her to apply for that particular company, and she did get a pattern published with them, I'm fairly certain, she has sent me some yarn to say thank you that they sent to her. So this is Pearl Soho, who make the linen quill from my half and half wrap. This is called Line Weight. It's 100% merino wool. It has a really lovely halo. And I just think, I have no idea. It is 494 yards to 100 grams. Hand wash and cold, lay flat to dry. It's made in Peru. This colorway is called Heather. I really like it a lot. So I'm not sure. I'm like tempted to do a beanie, but I don't want to wear beanies. They ruin my hair. But anyway, I got two skeins of this Heather colorway, and then I got one of this one here, which is their quartz their quartz yarn. It's merino, 65% merino wool, 35% suri alpaca, 420 yards, lay flat to dry. Honestly, I love these two colors together. I'm a little bit concerned if I was to pair them that these might bleed. But I think they'd be such a nice like contrast for a brioche something. I also, just looking at my stash, have some other different purples which would go really nice. So anyway, these are coming into stash for me, and I'm just gonna let some ideas percolate. If you have a suggestion of what might work for two skeins, like for 800 and something, single ply though, so like not probably great for a garment because it will pill like something shocking and not have a lot of structural integrity. But if I could pair it with something else that does have a little bit more strength, maybe that would be really nice. This one here is alpaca and merino. They are both so soft. Like, sorry, if I didn't have foundation on my face, I'd probably like get all up in there, but I don't want to put it on the yarn. So yeah, thank you, Kat. That was completely unnecessary. I was just looking out for you as a friend, and she sent those through. So yeah, that's lovely. All right, I have been, what are you up to? Knit and Natter, I think. I have actually been updating my, it's called Workbook. It's just one of those Kiki K diaries. I started it back in 2016. Yeah, so the first pattern is one I knit for, or crocheted probably. Yeah, hook. I crocheted for my ex. It's his navy beanie. I have stash busting blanket plans in here. Gosh, this is funny. My puff stitch beanie, which I crocheted. I have no idea what that is. I think I gave it away. My knit stitch scarf, which was the first I actually think I've given that one away too. It's the first thing I knit when I became a knitter again. And then a scarf that I made. My socks from my mum, my first pair of socks that I ever made. Baby blanket that I gifted. Oh, I frogged that and gifted the yarn. Baby boy granny strap, gifted. Lake Street cow, gifted to my ex-mother-in-law. Christmas baubles, which I've made lots of. The beanie I designed for my dad. Oh wow, like I actually designed a pattern. I used someone else's decreases from another pattern, but I designed a beanie that was colorwork and it said my dad's football team, or my football team. I think I need to make one of those for myself. Wow, okay, wow. My Kobu cat, my 2019 Make 9. Of those, this is so funny. Sizzle Pop, finally made that. Sipple Up, really want to make that this year. Marinda Rat, completed. Weekender, frogged. Solara Shawl, yarn is here. Pure Joy, yay! I've worn that and worn it for Me Made May. Coziest Memory Blanket, has like 15 squares. It's not getting finished. And a granny stripe, which is currently hibernating. Weekender, notes. Oh, Bridget the Elephant. Yep, made that. Penny Royal. I made that. And I made socks. Okay, so I did make some things that year. All right, so then like more recently, I have the entwined beanie notes from when I test knit that pattern from Astrid, who is Wattle and Wool. Check out Astrid's, Astrid, oh my gosh, words. Astrid is traveling. I'm gonna write a note down so I can link to her, Astrid, Wattle and Wool. So Astrid is currently in Latvia, or actually she's in Valencia, coming home to Latvia, where she's moved to for the next year and a bit at least. And she's vlogging her travels and it's really lovely. Okay, so we have the Sizzle Pop. Yay, I loved it. And so what I've been doing is like sticking the yarn ball band and some of the yarn. Life in the Long Graph, those socks that I made, which were my winter session socks, I think I called them, or semester 1 socks maybe. Then, oh, these are my winter session socks, which were in Rosehip Island. Cozy Comfort Throw, just the info, no yarn, because that was my advent calendar from Daffodil Road. And then my Pop Fizzle hat, so I've got some of that yarn left over, but I stuck in the ball bands and some notes about it. Then I started keeping a record of all the sock tubes that I made, but I've made lots of orders since then. And then the Boxberry pullover, which was my Rhinebeck sweater from last year. And then I've got that basic baby beanie that I made from Tin Can Knit. So this one got some space down here, probably for number 2 when I make the one for my nephew Sunny. And then this is all the details from my half and half wrap. So I've got some of the yarn, one of the yarn labels, and then the actual colorway details, like the dye lots and stuff. Some info about Ed's animals that I've made, my Felix cardigan notes, and now I get to cast on, oh, I already did. So this is before I had bought the pattern and decided I was doing it. My So Soon Knits MCal. Yeah, so an Ash, What's the Fuzz, and then Cameron. Oh dear, I cracked myself up. Okay, so instead of being a short episode, looks like this is going to be a long one. What else have we got going on? I have... Oh. I'm recording this early because next weekend is when all the marking starts for school. So I will edit this during the week after work a little bit. And then it'll be up next weekend or Friday probably. What else have I got to tell you? Life is good. School has been really busy. I have I've had some really awful days. I've had some excellent teaching days. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. I guess it's like every job. You have winners and then you have you have shockers. But the good times with certain students definitely outweigh the crappy times with certain students. I just don't gel with some. And they're between 13 and 15, and this is the time for them to make silly decisions and push against authority and whatnot. So yeah, in good news, I have been offered continuing, which means permanency at my school, so I don't have to go looking for another job. Hooray! That also means that I will be moving house in the next probably 6 to 12 months. I don't want to keep commuting 30 minutes every day. The drive is not terrible, like it's a fairly decent drive once I get onto the highway, but my family live nearly an hour away and I want to be closer to them. So my plan is to move half an hour north of where I am now, which is like half an hour from my parents. It's like 15 to 20 minutes from school based on the area. So yeah, I just have to kind of figure out when is best to put my house on the market and then really start looking for somewhere. Slightly complicated by the fact I do have a housemate who I love dearly and want her to move with me as soon as if she's happy to move. So to just be talking through things with her and then figuring out how I go about it. What else? Reading, watching, listening. Reading. I have been reading a couple of books, actually. I finished The Happiest Man Alive by Eddie Jacku. I've talked about that book before, or I've talked about Eddie before in a podcast, but I've listened to his book on BorrowBox, I think, from my local library because I cancelled Audible. Watching Queen Charlotte on Netflix. I also watched Jewish Matchmaker on Netflix. Really enjoyed that. I like Indian Matchmaker, so Jewish Matchmaker was interesting. I also had a chat with some of the guys I met on my tour last year who were Jewish, and it's been interesting. We're just on WhatsApp. I'm just be like, oh my gosh, I'm watching this, and he's like, yeah, remember how I told you about that person that he dated? It's really similar to this, or yeah, that type of like cultural Judaism versus like the religious practice. Really interesting. As a non-Jewish person, like I have learnt a lot about Judaism, like out of my own intellectual curiosity and wanting to understand the Jewish faith. But seeing that in practice through dating is really interesting. What else have I got? Listening. Oh, I just listened to Diary of a CEO with Jack Whitehall, who's a British comedian, does stuff with, like, has done shows on Netflix or like streaming services with his dad, who's also an actor or a comedian. So that was cool. I did have something else that I thought was a little bit more highbrow that I had listened to recently, but it seems to have escaped me. Oh, I've been listening to a lot of investing podcasts, actually, because I am 30, or I'm in my 30s, I should say, and like have done some, dabbled in some before, but I was like, I basically, since I got my job for next year confirmed, like, okay, let's be more not sensible, because I'm pretty sensible fiscally anyway, but like, okay, how can I rejig my finances and whatever, boring stuff, but you know, adulting, prepare for the future. So that's kind of that. Can I please make a public service announcement for my own stuff, very selfishly? Okay, so I have a new vlog on YouTube. It is about my trip last year. It starts with me leaving Australia and going to England and then to Amsterdam for the first part, like the first time on my trip. I ended up going there 3 times. Twice. I have been to Amsterdam 3 times, yeah. And then it's my travels into Poland with my sister. I think I spent probably 12 hours at least on an 18-minute video. So if you, for the very only reason that you pity me, please go and watch it. I think it's a nice video. There's a little bit of talking about the purchases that I made at Stephen and Penelope. I actually record that segment twice. I do it once in Amsterdam in a hotel room with my sister in the shower and it's too loud. And then like, I really like past me because another time my sister is in the shower, but our hostel had her in a, like the shower was separate. I think I don't know where she was. I think probably in the shower because I had like 10 minutes. And so I sat down and I recorded that whole segment again. So I spare you the like shower noise in the background. And in Krakow, I sit down in my hostel room and talk to you about all the purchases I made in Amsterdam. So selfish plug, please check that out. The next vlog will be Hungary and probably Athens. And then the next vlog will have like no yarny stuff probably, but it's just like my time in Greece, a lot of which was with my family who are not like, not that I'm a public person, but I obviously have this channel. So I will speak to them and find out how much of our trip, that part, they're willing to share. I'm also going to edit a vlog for my, like a video for my sister for her birthday that is about our trip that we had together. So the Greece section, I may kind of like use that as the bare bones for the Greece part. I only saw yarn shops in Athens. The smaller islands we went to didn't have yarn shops. Actually, Thessaloniki did have a flying tiger, one of those, which did have some yarny stuff from memory. So yeah, it takes me so much time. And then, oh, it's just an absolute stuff around. Like, I won't get into it too much, but like, it's my own fault. I put all the clips together, it was perfect, and I'm like, oh no, this piece of footage actually belongs here. And I didn't even think that I should think to group all of those clips together. So then like I uploaded a version the other day, but I had moved a title, and because I had moved it out of its little section, like it was live on YouTube because I'd watched it through and then made a change and didn't watch it through again before I exported. I thought I had, but obviously at 9 o'clock at night on Thursday, I hadn't. And it's up on YouTube, and just out of idle curiosity, I'm like, oh, I'll just like skip through and have a listen. And as I watched, this bit, like a voiceover, was like 30 seconds in the wrong spot. So I had to quickly like pause that, like hide that video, go back. It probably took me like an hour to then re-edit that section, because then by when I moved that, I stuffed it up, and then I discovered the grouping. So hopefully the next few don't take as long. I don't know. So probably let's go like one a month. So we'll have this monthly episode at the beginning of the month, and then probably halfway through the month there will be some sort of vlog. By halfway I probably mean like towards the end of June, because next week of school is my last week of assessment prep for my kids, and then week 8 is parent teacher conferences. I have all of my assessments are due for my kids mostly like towards the end of the week, so all of the next week is going to be marking, feedback, yeah. And I'm a humanities and English teacher, so I have 60 kids for English in grade 9. They are all writing me 3 paragraphs. So I don't even want to do the maths on that, of how many paragraphs. Then my year 7 English students are writing me a persuasive letter and putting together like an iMovie video, 30 of those. And then I have my history kids, 26, who are on a standard track. I've got 2 kids who do alternate assessment, and they're doing a poster, and my other kids are doing historical inquiry with a 600-word like analytical opinion piece. And then my business kids have a portfolio, which I have seen at checkpoints, but like that whole thing is due as well. And I have to have my reporting in by Monday of week 10. So do not expect to see me for a while. And then the school holidays, actually that's probably when all the editing will happen, because I will have time. So at the end of June maybe, I expect the next one. Anyway, no complaining, just like, holy crap, that's what's coming for me. So now that I've bored you with that, thank you so much for joining me. If you were a new viewer, welcome. I should have said that at the beginning. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and spending some time with me. I would really love it if you could hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw, and maybe leave me a comment below if you've watched my travel vlog yet, or are you excited to see that MCAL progress, or maybe what you're knitting on or something. I try not to have these "this is futile" moments, because I really appreciate the community of people that I interact with online, but sometimes like with the vlog fiasco, I'm like, I don't have time for this. Why am I doing it? And then when I see the comments of people like, I really enjoyed that, I'm like, okay, that's why I do it, because it is fun when it works. It's all my own fault. Shoot, I've looked at the time. I really have to go. Madbell on Ravelry, Mad About You on Instagram, and check out my other vlogs or my other videos, and I will see you in a month. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Hello, this is me on the 3rd of June, I think. Yes. And I forgot, done my housework and I'm about to head to the gym, but I totally forgot to draw the prize for my 5-year subscriber giveaway. So 23 people commented. I liked all of your comments, but I didn't reply because I wasn't sure that I could find a generator that would remove the comments, which I ended up being able to. So I will go back over this weekend and reply to you all. I did run the random number generator last night while I was editing, and our winner of that prize was Tony S. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for everybody who has watched over the years, who commented and let me know what some of their favorite memories were. And I especially love the fact that some of you found my podcast more recently and actually have gone back and looked over the last 5 years and started at the beginning. So yeah, thank you so much for your patronage, and I really appreciate every single watch view, comment. I really love the comments. Yeah, so thank you. Congratulations, Tony S. I will pop your name below. I think I know who you are on Instagram, but when you watch this, please send me a message and I'll grab your postal address and I'll pop the prize off. That's it for this episode. Signing off now. Bye.